What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for our second ever Madden 25 franchise mode rebuild with the Carolina Panthers. Had to bust out the Keith Taylor jerseys for this one. I think we have to do and summon some sort of gods to make this Carolina Panthers roster good, let alone good enough to win a Super Bowl within 5 years. So as you can see with a quick snapshot of the Panthers roster, pretty bad. 79 overall. You look at our rankings, nothing is that great. The only thing it is our pass rush, and our best pass rusher from last year, Brian Burns, was traded away for pretty much pennies on the dollar to the New York Giants. We do have 3 hidden dev rookies, which is nice. We have a superstar, which off the top of my head, I honestly don't know who that would be. I'm going to assume Derek Brown. But overall, we got our work cut out for us. This is going to be a very challenging rebuild. So when we break down the offense, you got to start with Bryce Young. Going into year 2 of the Bryce Young era, you are very concerned that if it's more the same from his rookie campaign where he had just terrible supporting cast, you run into the risk of stunting his development, just derailing what would be if he landed on 31 and of other teams. It would be a different story for Bryce Young. The talent is there, and I think, and my plan in this rebuild anyways, is to commit with Bryce Young. But he got to earn it. He got to deserve it. They're able to get Deontay Johnson from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that's a solid get. He's a good route runner. Hands, can be inconsistent. 5-year rebuild, 28 years old. Not the perfect age, but he's going to be good for most of this rebuild and just starting to decline come year 5 when we're likely peaking. But that's fine because, I'm visioning Deontay Johnson as a wide receiver 3. He could be a wide receiver 3 at 33, 32 years old on a Super Bowl caliber team. Totally. And I say wide receiver 3 because I have other guys that I think are going to have a higher ceiling that are going to be the big-time players in this rebuild. Rookie Xavier Legette, 73 overall, has that hidden dev, 220 pounds, 93 speed, 93 acceleration, the jumping, 83 catching, 84 spec. He's dangerous with the yak. This guy here, this is franchise wide receiver potential. Up front, we're going to go Jatavian Sanders, the rookie at tight end, just has a little bit higher upside. Moton, Hunt, who they got in free agency, Corbett, Lewis, who they got in free agency, and we need Ike Ekwonu for sure. He was a superstar dev the last couple of years. Things haven't looked great. I've heard discussions just from the outside that maybe you got to kick him inside the guard, which there was that discussion when he was drafted originally. Maybe he's not your franchise left tackle, but we're going to commit to it, much like Bryce Young. And the backfield has a new addition, Jonathan Brooks out of Texas, where if he was fully healthy, probably goes earlier than when he fell to the Carolina Panthers. And as much as I like Chuba Hubbard as a Canadian, I definitely think a more swing for the fences type move at running back was the right decision to do during the draft. As you can see with Brooks, just a very much a complete player. Good speed, 92 carry, doesn't put the ball on the ground. Maybe not the best receiving back. Those numbers are a little bit lower than I would have expected, but for 5 years, my vision, he is going to be our franchise running back. The defense is another story. Not very good. On the front 3, you got Derek Brown. The back end, we got the hidden dev on Trevin Wallace, who we're actually going to let start next to Shaq Thompson, which is annoying because they paid money to get Josie Jewell from the Denver Broncos. He's not kind of surplus requirement. I hate trading guys that are just there, but I suppose we could see what his market is. Our pass rush is pretty much Jadeveon Clowney, which is a cool story for him to go back to Carolina and coming off a pretty damn good year last season. However, kind of hitching our wagon as to a 31-year-old pass rusher as the guy, especially with the scope of 5 years, we're going to have to find younger options with more upside. And the secondary is fine. Xavier Woods, decent rating. Jordan Fuller, decent rating. Not a lot of depth in the secondary, but we got the horn dog. And anytime I rebuild the Carolina Panthers, as long as he's on the roster, it's always going to be a goal to make him live up to the superstar potential I think he has as a lockdown island corner 1. So just out of curiosity, my first trade is the dead weight on the offensive side of the ball. Sanders, Marshall, and Christensen. And I only got 3 offers in return. Wish Pickens was a little bit higher of an overall. I definitely still think there's some upside there. He's a former 5-star recruit. But I think at this point, no offer's worth it. We'll just keep the dead weight. Got an interesting offer here from the Bucks for Josie Jewell. Christian Eisen, who could play, I thought he played safety, but he's a corner. He's a nickel. That seems, yeah, I'll take that offer. And you knew I had to give Jonathan Brooks a go. We got a competitive backfield. We don't want to just give it to the rookie without making him earn it. And he has been very impressive. We got gold medal. I've been tackled a couple times. And we still got change left to mess around. Let's see if we get 100K. 100K should be an automatic dev trade increase. Ooh, it's going to be close. If we can get 2 more tuds. I don't think I've ever got a 100. Tackle. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, okay. My math might not be the best, but this should be 100,000 points. Yeah. What a performance. All-timer. Tell you what, D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, Cam Newton, Mike Tolbert, you should be worried because that guy's going to be taking your all-time rushing records. Dude, Jordan Matthews plays for the Panthers. I'm keeping him on the roster. We'll set our season goal for year 1 at 7 wins. I think that is very much best case scenario. We kick off week 1 with a divisional matchup. Let's hop on the sticks. We know this is going to be the floor of where this team is going to be in today's video. Let's see how bad it is. So come year 5, when we have hopefully a super team, the difference will be drastic. Oh my God, DJ Waddle almost gets there. Hey, thank God, Derek Brown cleans it up. Classic Derek Carr. Oh, let's go, Brooks. We got him. Oh, maybe not. That's our run right there. That's excellent patience. Don't always hold speed. Oh, no. Good run. Oh, we got it. Nick Scott. What? He's even on the field. Let's go. Right to him. Appreciate you, Derek Carr. Goofy. Oh, wow. Thought that was an overthrow. Great grab by Adam Thielen. Our blockers here, and we're in 14 zip. Oh, Alvin Kamara pulls back 1. Legit first grab. It's been a tough matchup going against Marshawn Lattimore. I want to try to get him involved. Oh, Jatavion Sanders, the rookie, makes a big grab. Gets smashed at the end of it by the Honey Badger. Ooh, mesh. Might be able to get this legit. I was going to get to him. I'm going to throw a pick trying to get it to him. Come on, B. Come on, B. Keep running. Ah, get in there. That is a career first touchdown for the man with the most badass voice in the NFL, Xavier Legette. Not out of it yet. Very piss poor. Can't let Rashid win short. You can let him beat you deep. Not in the red zone like that. And if you remember, my Patriots rebuild, my very first game, ended on a last-second Hail Mary, and it's Barno. I'm giving the 92 speed edge a chance in our rotation. Let's go. I'm bumping him up the depth chart permanently. All right, we got a little scenario here asking me what my goal is for Legette. Let's set it somewhat reasonable. I do think he will eventually be a 1,000-yard receiver, but he's still 75 overall. Let's make it somewhat realistic. Right in the trade deadline, we get an interesting offer. Brad Christmason, depth guard. Saints want him, and they're offering 8 deep Perry. Height, weight, speed, merchant. But I know he's on a rookie contract. We'll do that deal. So we're at the midway point of year number 1, and we are smashing teams. We are 6-1 on the season. With our 1 loss, as you can see at the top there, coming 21-18 over the Atlanta Falcons. But in that 6-1, we beat the Bengals. So now we're here. We're going to decide who to resign. We don't have crazy capital. For the state of the roster to only have $58 million year 1 of a rebuild is certainly not ideal. We'll get Jordan Full back here on a 4-year deal. Keep him until he's 30. Jack Thompson's a little bit older, but we got him on a 2-year deal, and that should keep him for the remainder of his prime. He's still an 84 star. We're back star dev center Austin Corbett on a 2-year deal. Keep him until he's 30, and that will likely be his expiration date. We're in tough contract negotiations with Deontay Johnson, and 3 years is good. You probably wouldn't want him beyond that. You don't make the move if you don't plan on paying him. We have to try to offset his lack of interest in staying here. I would like to think that motivator of team has no franchise core. How about we have a little faith in Bryce Young? Let's go. We got ourselves a breakout scenario for our linebacker. Ooh. What other goals do we have as an option? Oh my God. Okay, these are all... I think we just made it harder for himself. All right, let's go. 6 tackles and a TFL, baby. Or sack. And even though we got the win against the Giants, does not seem like... Yeah, we got the dev trait for Trevin Wallace. Oh, we did! Our defense did not play good, but Trevin Wallace got it with the TFL late. Ooh. That is... Hey. We haven't had a linebacker. Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly never got that true successor. Maybe we have one here in 5-6. All right, and we got another breakout. Oh, this is going to be hard, though. It's Derek Brown looking to try to make a jump to an X Factor. I feel like 4 TFLs. I don't know these scenarios well enough. Maybe kudos to this game that I can just... Oh, that one's a lot. 5 combined tackles. Okay, we're going with 5 tackles and 2+ TFLs. That could be very doable, especially to get a superstar X Factor as the reward. All right, we beat the Bucks and we only allowed 13 points. Let's see if we hit it. Surprise me. Okay, we had a different goal. Yes, we pivoted. Derek Brown looking fresh. Okay. He just focused on doing his job and helping others make plays. I'll still take an XP boost. And I'll tell you what. On top of the fact that if you fail a dev trait scenario, you get XP now, which is, I mean, 4,500 XP is good. That's a quarter of the way of Derek Brown's leveling up. But look at Jatavian Sanders. He got 8 touchdowns this season and counting. And he got an insane, like, 20k XP, 4 skill points. All right. I like this change. I like this update for the better. So we're 11-4. We did just lose to the Cowboys not too long ago, and it wasn't very competitive. But we bounced back with a win over the Cardinals, which, you know, that'll be a competitive matchup. But we do get our first Player of the Week performance, and I'm happy that it's Bryce Young because our whole success is going to tie around him developing, and he's playing well in the sim. I will say something I've noticed. Unless Bryce Young has played out of his mind, XP seems to be quicker. I'm on default everything for XP sliders. But it feels like Bryce Young started as a 74. We got like, look at that miles, man. The miles, that's what it is. These milestone goals are beefed up. Almost 10,000 for his passing yards, which is well over 1 skill point. 4, I mean, made the Pro Bowl. I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, it is insane, the rate that some of these guys are developing. So I don't know if that's something that needs to get tuned at some point, but we'll take advantage while it's here. We got a Xavier Legette up to an 82 overall, and that is even before we triggered the second half of his scenario, which will give him almost another 10,000 XP. Jonathan Brooks is going to finish his rookie campaign as an 86 overall, and he's only in, we've seen the bug right now, all rookies just have star devs, but I think it's, in this case with the Panthers, it's fair and reasonable that all of their rookies with hidden devs would just be stars. But Brooks was started as 77, I think. Almost 9 points in one season is truly remarkable. And I'm looking at, like, well, is his XP coming in crazy? And it's, you know, we got 1,000 yards. So, yeah, that helps, 6K. But still, man. Wouldn't be surprised, anyway, I'll say right now, that the meta for franchise settings has something to do with, like, significantly nerfing the XP sliders. Like, look at this. I got 3 more XP points for Trevin Wallace. Yeah, he's a superstar, so the XP rate is going to go up. But, like, we get 100 tackles in the season, and he gets almost 3. Well, that's what I got right now. He gets almost 3 upgrade points just from that alone. Their XP sliders are default. So, this is interesting. Interesting development of players getting too good too quickly. How big of a problem is, I just, it's like the inverse of what we're experiencing in college football 25, where it's like we're getting almost too rewarded for on-field production, where in college football 25, you can win the Heisman with 40 touchdowns, and your player might not go up in overall. You talk about Xavier Legette. His goal was 60 catches and 800 yards. And we achieved that goal. If you watch this in the Patriots reel, we did not hit this once. I think we hit it year 5. And I didn't even like do this scenario because I was too locked in on the Super Bowl. So we get another 9,000 XP for Legette. So we finished 11-6, which I think is probably at least 2 wins higher than most realistic Carolina Panther fans' ceilings for the 2024 season. So 11-6 is awesome. It's good to know that Carolina is a good sim team. And you look at the rankings, we are 10th offensively, 10th defensively, with a top 5 rushing defense. It wasn't like Bryce Young was popping off. 25 touchdowns, 3,500 yards, 12 picks is probably like a somewhat realistic, modest season for Bryce Young next year. Hardly one that would elevate our roster to that win-loss record that we have. But a rookie, Jonathan Brooks, going for almost 1,200 yards and 16 touchdowns, which was 4th in the league. Chuba Hubbard had 9, so our rushing attack was very good. On the receiving standpoint, Xavier Legette, and I didn't even put him in the slot. He played wide receiver 2, 84 catches, 1,100 yards, and 9 touchdowns. I'm not going to try to want to, peel back under the hood. Would be, I don't want to say kind of cool. It'd be different if, like, some of these scenarios could trigger production if you're straight simming. That's tinfoil hat. Probably does not exist, but I think that'd be kind of cool versus, what we've had traditionally where it's, if you want to get a certain reception goal for a receiver, you just put them in the slot because that's usually what hits in the sim. It'd be cool if there's like other mechanisms at work where it's like if I have a goal for, let's just say, Jatavian Sanders, who had a great rookie season, 600 yards and 8 touchdowns. If I have a scenario preseason with him, he gets like bumped up or gets locked into a different sim bubble. I don't know. This is quite the tangent. Hopefully it doesn't exist because it does sound like, let's have more manipulation that we don't know at foot in the sim, which is not really what we want. Trevin Wallace, 104 tackles, 7 TFLs, 2 sacks, and interception for the superstar dev linebacker. We get 12 sacks on 18 TFLs for Derek Brown, 11 TFLs, 5.5 for Clowney, so definitely need to work. Barno, 5 sacks is pretty good for a rotational player. He's a freak athlete, but definitely want to try to find a good long-term solution to get sacks on the other side of Derek Brown. Love seeing the Horn Dog lead the team with 3 interceptions. Dave Canales gets Coach of the Year, rightfully so. Jordan Brooks makes the top 10 as a rookie in Offensive Player of the Year voting. Derek Brown, a runner-up to Micah Parsons for Defensive Player of the Year. But Jonathan Brooks, Xavier Legette, shout out Jatavian Sanders, all 3 of our big rookies on the offensive side of the ball, getting close to nods with Brooks winning the award outright, which hopefully will be a likely dev trait scenario for him to bump up to superstar. Trevin Wallace, runner-up for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And all that great individual success puts the Carolina Panthers in the playoffs against the 10-7 Seattle Seahawks, who are pretty good. They can run the football really well. Kenneth Walker, almost 1,500 yards. They have DK Metcalf on the outside. Hopefully Horn Dog can shut him down. Ew, that is unfortunate. 28-20. We let... Well, I did focus scout corners for the upcoming draft. You can't let Geno Smith go for 4 touchdowns. We did get a pick, so we did get the better of him on one play. Love seeing Legette the rookie. That's a meaningful first playoff game. But no sacks. We got 1 pick from Xavier Woods. That is, after an overachieving regular season, that's a humbling end. Look at our dev traits as we close out the season. Jonathan Brooks goes from star up to superstar with Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is expected, but it is our first rebuild like this where I have this kind of success. No offense to the Patriots rebuild, but we did not win a lot of awards to even test out if some of the mechanisms work the same. But it is good, and I think rightfully so, that when you win Offensive Rookie of the Year, maybe not a guarantee, but 75% of the time, you probably should get a dev trait with it. Xavier Legette stays on his startup, but Jatavian Sanders, very, very nice rookie season for him. Bumps up from normal to a star, which is huge for the offense because tight end always was going to be a little bit of a question mark if he wasn't going to develop. On the defensive side of the ball, Xavier Woods goes from normal up to a star. And Derek Brown, while he did not hit that X-Factor breakout scenario in game, he gets rewarded for his body of work this campaign as a very good, well-balanced 3-4 defensive end. So we get him up to an X-Factor, which is a great way to replace the production and upside of ceiling that we lost. Well, not we, but the Panthers lost when they traded away Brian Burns last offseason. A ridiculous Super Bowl here in year 1. Ridiculous, I tell you. To start the offseason, it's going to be pretty quiet with our limited salary cap space, but we will pick up the 5th-year option of Ike Ekwonu. Pretty bare free agency class. I would like to get help and reinforcements on that front three around Derek Brown, but not really any upgrades worth jumping on, especially because, you know, we probably could find like a nose tackle, true nose tackle in the draft. Outside pass rush could get younger than Xavier and Clowney, but younger, unfortunately, is not on the market right now. You know, Shoenko could be interesting, but there's no dev trait there, so it's really limiting his upside. Corner and safety. I mean, corner is where I focus scouted in the draft, so I would like to get a cheaper contract there, but we do need a free safety after we're going to try to get younger with letting Xavier Woods go. Unfortunately, just not a whole lot there. Maybe we go after Melifonwu. I'll throw him a contract. We'll see. Hey, there we go. Bringing a new 6'3" starting free safety. One last position we have to worry about in the draft. All right, Panthers, feels good to have a first-round pick again. Let's do some damage with it. I'm saving this for later. I'm going to 6'5", 385. Key rating's not the best. He almost ran a sub 540, so I'm going to be for sure looking at Dontari Poe 2.0. I'm not in love with any of the players available right now, but I think Harold Whitworth needs to be the play. A, B, power move. I'm going to fantasize that that's an A. A tackle, C block shed, elite acceleration, great speed, great strength. And I think he could almost like be a little bit of a tweener. He's 270, we'll round up 275. Like that's kind of like the smallest you would see a 3-4 defensive end. Also like the biggest you'd see an edge rush. So he could be a Clowney replacement. He could be someone that plays on that front three. And I like the gamble on the physicals that there's going to be a dev trade here. Number 8 in true value, getting him at pick 20. Oh, normal dev. That's brutal. We're going to trust the draft board here. Zayash, grades don't look anything special. Combine, the elite agility does. But we have him scouted as a first, second round talent here. We have 2 second round picks really close, 18 and 20. So I think it's worth the gamble here in case there's, you know, maybe no dev trade. 37 in true value, getting him at 50. But, damn, no dev. All right, you know who's going to have a dev trade here? Mr. 385. Jerry Rhodes. Oh, no. Oh. Oh. What? Almost set. I will take, though, the unique case. This might be one of those things if he sucks. I might say screw it and move him to fullback. Having almost a 400-pound player with almost 70 speed, 82 acceleration. We can get creative with it. There was another nose tackle on the board. He had 46 reps on the bench press, but again, uninspiring grades. And we get our first hidden dev of the draft, 99 strength Hoss. We're rocking and rolling here. We got our power back, day 3, projected. You get high carry, break tackle, Jameel Adams, 235 out of Ohio State. Rolls with the dev trade as well. Hey, looking at our draft recap, feel pretty good, all things considered. 72 hidden dev running back, 72 hidden dev nose tackle. Again, I mean, do we experiment? Old Jerry Rhodes, what's his rating as a fullback? He does plummet down to a 34, but I'm here for the memes. Ash, normal dev 74, normal dev 76 for our first round pick. The ratings are decent, but I really would have loved the dev trait there. But at least we end with 2 overall in the draft class. Damn, and there was some talent. 3 players above an 80 overall. 80 linebacker going to the Rams, 82 corner going to the Titans, and an 83 guard. Wow. Putting Nelson 2.0 to the Bengals, protecting Joe Burrow. Let me have this. Ready? Go, Jerry! Look at that, man. He's going to pull a hammy. 400-pound machine. Let's go now. Oh, my God. He just... Gus Johnson, get away from the cop speed. Oh, 6'5". Oh, my God. Terrible angle. Let's go. Oh, yeah. You high stepped. We have 1 run to hit it. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Jerry. Straight to the house. Trick Daddy. Take it to the house. Gold medal. 1 of 1. At the midseason, who would have thought that adding a 400-pound fullback would be the missing piece that we needed to have a top 5 offense across the board? Defense has fallen off a little bit, not great, but you can look here at our top players. Derek Brown already has 12 TFLs. Horn Dog has 4 picks, so at least our stars are producing from a box score standpoint. $106 million for salary cap. I do think we get younger, so Thielen, Clowney, appreciate you. Actually, you know what? Clowney wanted 2 years. I was like, hey, if you give you one year, $7 million, and you want to buy in, I'll keep you here. And we got him for 1 year. Got Taylor Moton on a 2-year, $40 million deal. We got Eisen, who we traded for from the Bucks. See if we can get him on a 4-year deal. And I really want to kind of lock up the secondary and make sure the Horn Dog's not going anywhere for the rest of this rebuild. A huge milestone for Jerry Rhodes, as he has now eclipsed a 40 overall. The long journey continues. Well, it's annoying we roll the Dallas Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs. Hopefully the Cowboys play like the Cowboys, and they're likely going to choke this one. We go 9-8, which is enough to win us the NFC South. And that is a positive of rebuilding the Carolina Panthers. And you could make the argument that would be a positive if you rebuild the Bucks, Falcons, or Saints. It's arguably the worst division in football right now. So it's completely wide open, especially if you, like we have, been able to find traction, get our players developing, easy path to the top. Looking at our stats, kind of scared that back-to-back seasons, well under 30 touchdowns for Bryce Young, appears to be his ceiling. Jonathan Brooks continues to be an absolute monster. 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns for him. We got 7 touchdowns for the hidden dev rookie, Jameel Adams. Okay scrambling numbers from Bryce Young. Good complimentary. Jatavion Sanders led the team. 76 catches, 800 yards, 6 touchdowns. Johnson there. Legit 777, and I mean, we're just never going to have big-time numbers here, which is kind of disappointing. Trevin Wallace, monster, 122 tackles, 8 TFLs, 2 interceptions, 16 TFLs, 10 sacks, Derek Brown, 8 from Clowney, so I'm happy that we got him back on a 1-year deal. 7.5 from Whitworth. Clowney is going to be able to be okay, he has the mentor tag, so there's going to be potential. If we move Whitworth to outside linebacker, you could get that XP boost. I don't know, it might be too many moving pieces. Horn Dog with 4 picks, 3 from Fuller. So I'm pretty happy with the numbers on the defensive side of the ball. It's just our passing offense kind of limited right now. And our only award winner, Jadeveon Clowney, on that 1-year deal, wins linebacker of the year. Oh, we beat him. Got it right, we beat him. The Cowboys choked badly. Came in as a big dog. Micah Parsons, defensive player of the year, 38-10. 4 touchdowns for Bryce Young. Dak Prescott, masterclass. There's no funny business going on here with the win. Force win or not. We handle business. I don't know if we handle business. I'd like to more so convey it as Dallas choked, like they always do, which is awesome. That's pretty cool. I'm getting the first playoff victory of this era. We could build off of that. It's year 2. It's early enough. We get another winnable matchup here in the divisional round against the 9-8 Arizona Cardinals, who do have a top 10 passing offense and the number 1 secondary in the NFL. All right, we got ourselves a run. An overtime thriller. Bryce Young, clean game. I mean, come on. We should be able to beat Desmond Ridder. Where's Kyler Murray? Why is... What? What? Anyways, yeah. Legit. Getting a touchdown. You love to see that. Got 2 sacks. Got a pick. And year 2, Panthers are in the NFC Championship game. And what stands in our way is a very good Green Bay Packers team, 14-3. They have a top 5 universal offense. Defense is led by their rushing defense. Let's kick our feet up, grab front row seats for this matchup. And if we somehow go on a Cinderella run where my quarterback threw for 25 touchdowns in the regular season, anything is possible. All you need is a 400-pound fullback who had 1 rushing touchdown. He had 3 carries this year for 1 touchdown. I'm a little disappointed with that. But it's a work in progress. Look at this. Low scoring and our offensive woes seem to be creeping up here. But luckily our defense is keeping us in it. We're down 7. Ooh, third down. Come on, baby. Finish this drive off. Let's go. We're tied at 17. Instant score from Green Bay. Great response from Jordan Love. But Bryce Young, big game mentality, man. He has that winner's edge from Alabama. Defense lets us down. Oh, I can't. Oh! Touchdown! Holy We are in the Super Bowl year 2. Bryce Young defining drive. Jordan Love can't believe it. The 1 seed Green Bay Packers get upset. I'm fine winning this. If we go on and win this Super Bowl, I'm happy that Cinderella runs exist. Because there's not one single aspect of my team that could have foreshadowed this. Our playbook isn't, because playbooks are still a thing, unfortunately, I think. I don't know. It's still early on. But I'm under the assumption that there's a ceiling that Bryce Young has hit. His numbers are too similar year 1 to year 2, even though everyone else is growing. And he's almost 90 overall. So we don't have a cheesy playbook. We didn't put up big numbers. We had a good rushing attack. We didn't even utilize that here today. Our defense is solid. We don't really have a prolific pass rush. Our secondary had a couple good interception numbers, but nothing that I would say could carry this team on a Super Bowl run. But here we are. And who else would we see in the Super Bowl but the 15-2 Kansas City Chiefs? It's very much David versus Goliath. Love to hear the kind of questions, thought-provoking. Can you talk to your players about what they've been preparing for all week? Oh, just the biggest game of their lives. Quick question about my left guard. Okay. What's been the focus this week leading up to this? On my left guard? You want me to dive into the left guard situation? Well, we need him to keep Bryce Young upright. All right, let's go left guard, which is Damian Lewis. That's who everyone's keying in on in the Super Bowl. Not Patrick Mahomes, not Jonathan Brooks, not Derek Brown, not Travis Kelce, but Damian Lewis. Here we go. Let's get some cool presentation here. The granddaddy of them all. Cool. Oh, yeah. We're looking good. Mahomes looks like he hasn't slept for 2 days. He's terrified. He saw the horn dog in his sleep like Freddy Krueger. Here comes the good guys. Boo, let's go, Bryce Young. No one cares about the Chiefs. They're here all the time. So let's shock the world. If you're going to win a Super Bowl way ahead of schedule, it better come in a sim win over the gods, the sim cheese lords of my career, the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is a shootout. I don't know where our great defense is, but we are scoring top 35. Don't joke this. We got 35 points in the first half against the Chiefs. For the love of God. And then we got 0 in the third. Oh, no. No, you're going to be a meme. God damn it. I gotta try to get them 1 first down. Can't go down like this. Oh my God, we were up 35-17. Go! No! I probably could have kept running on that time. I didn't want to win it on that play. In my head, I was like, all right, I'll get one big, because if we were up 35-17 at halftime, and we lose 40-35. They can't keep getting away with it. So as we close out year 2, honestly, that is a bad enough loss. Like a meme, 35. That's gonna be the new meme, 35-17. We got our hidden devs. Adams, the running back star. Jatavian Sanders went from star up to a superstar, which is pretty cool. And like as we're seeing, just great growth and development. Legit, Brooks, Young, even Sanders now up to an 85. No one else though is really popping off, to be fair. You know, I'm definitely getting the vibes that XP generally is maybe a little overpowered right now. But also, it's not universal. It's just the guys that do good are getting a lot of XP. The guys that are just kind of average, it's more in line. Whitworth, would have been cool for him to go up depth trade, but he's up to an 81. That's fine. Wilson, the nose tackle, 79. Derek Brown still an X factor. Wallace still a superstar. We did lose the star dev on Shaq Thompson, which, you know, was always a potential to happen. He's an older player. Clowney winning linebacker of the year. I'm imagining he went up dev trade and then lost it because they're like, oh, you're old. You're 33. And that's exactly what happened here as he got star dev for winning linebacker of the year. And then they just said, no thanks, in a fitting way to end the year. I think we're in a situation here with Bryce Young that, you know, I experienced this with Drake May in my Patriots rebuild. I'm going to be able to get him on a much smaller number than $57.7 million if we decline this and pay him next season. So that is what we're going to do. So how I want to handle free agency, I was looking at a corner, and I'm going to put a good bid in here on Roger McCreary, 2683 with a star dev. It will complete our secondary, keep Eisen in the slot. We'll have McCreary on the outside with the horn dog. All kind of fits the same mentality. They're all dogs. I want edge rusher, but there's a lot of money that would need to be invested. Owe, great athlete, 86, 27, so still in his prime, but $22 million per year, and we're going to have to pay Bryce Young next year. Probably not advisable. Same thing with Jalen Phillips. We do have decent roles. There are players available on the market. I don't know. I think this would be ill-advised to throw that money out right now. I got to find one in the draft. We're able to land Roger McCreary, so it is all hands on deck to finding a pass rusher with the second last pick of the first round. Sure, that's easy. Looking at the final mock draft, we didn't get a great role for pass rushers. DNs are all bigger side. They're not 3-4 outside linebackers, as we have Quincy Best here. I think the closest chance that I did scout him was Silas Heath. He's going 23, first, second round talent. You hate trading up for that. I guess it'll be what the Browns want. I'm going to try and make a move. I mean, he looks solid. A pursuit, B tackle, B block shed. Combine's great and everything you want to look for. Maybe not S tier, but he has B finesse move, A pursuit, B awareness, B block shed, B tackle. So he's like, I'm going to guess he's probably like a 74, 75. Might have a dev trait. So we're able to leapfrog the Browns in a trade with the Eagles to get pick 22. We send pick 31, our third round pick, and then just some solid depth guys. Robinson, 72, Smith-Wade, 75 on a rookie contract, Johnson, 74, pass rusher on a rookie contract. With that, we're able to get Silas Heath. Please have a dev trait, especially after last year's first round pick was a normal dev. That was a bummer. And I'm slightly concerned just because the combine's not S tier enough for me to say that is 100% a dev trade player, but I think the rating will be fine. I don't think we overpaid for a guy that's, you know, it's not like we traded up for a guy that I'm expecting to be a 79 X factor. But I do think late in the first round, we get 42nd in true value, but at least we get the dev trait for a speed rusher. With Shaq Thompson starting to regress a little bit, we got Dave Hurts, cousin of Jalen from Alabama, first, second round talent, A zone, B tackle, elite speed, all things you want. 48 in true value, getting him at 63. Let's go. To pair that with Trevin Wallace, that's a bunch of freak athletes in the middle of our defense. Ooh, late. We get ourselves a nice little cornerback. 94 jumping, 91 speed. And look at our draft recap. Pretty happy with the class, all things considered. Get a 73 wide receiver in the 6th round. Warren Ross, 67, but does have the dev trait, so the high ceiling is there. Not great picks on the O-line, but Dave Hurts, 73, hidden dev, will probably not play a lot this season, but we do have Shaq Thompson with a mentor tag, so he will get a nice XP boost. But Heath will definitely be a day one starter on the other side of Jadeveon Clowney. We are here week 2 of year 3, trying to find a way to recover from a devastating Super Bowl loss. But the reason why we're here so early, is because we did not pick up the 5th-year option for Bryce Young. And, well, we are on a 2-0 start. He just got a Player of the Week performance against the Cincinnati Bengals with 4 touchdowns. So, as soon as possible, I want to open contract negotiations with our quarterback because I think that price is only going to go up. Now, you got to remember, he was looking for we'll round it up. It was like a $58 million a year contract. And as you can see, it's advisable to get the long-term extension because not even really it's going to be it when the rebuild's already done, are we going to be at that cap number? But we're going to have to sweeten the pot here a little bit. Oh, I don't like doing that, but we'll open negotiations here. 6 years, 351. Maybe I won't save that much money versus picking up the 5th-year option. And we'll quickly, while we're here, obviously want to pick up Ike Ekwonu for the remainder of the rebuild, so we'll get that contract on the books. We sweep the Falcons up to 3-0 to start year 3. I love to see that. Back to the negotiation table with Bryce Young. I mean, I don't know how much we're apart on these negotiations. I'll round up both these. Is that enough? Okay, we're close. Beat another playoff caliber team, the Detroit Lions, 4-0. And it does feel like Bryce Young's price is continuing to go up. 6 years, 363. There we go. After a big win over the Philadelphia Eagles, we get a breakout scenario. These have kind of been few and far between. Always makes you wonder if they've tuned it a little bit from where it was. You know, Madden 24, it was inconsistent, but when it was good and you were like a worse team, I felt like you'd get like 3 a season. So this is for our nose tackle, our stat-av nose tackle. So we definitely want to go with easy goal. Something that is revolved around tackles and tackles for loss. All right. Why would you ever go for a harder one? That's obviously an area that we got to figure out as we get through Madden 25. There's got to be a reason. I assume maybe dev trait and you get more XP if you pick like a very hard challenge. So we beat the Bucks. We go to 7-2. Whether or not we get the dev trait, what we have found out this year is that even if you miss it, you still can get some XP. So it's a team effort. Wasn't so much on DeMarquise Wilson, which we'll take 2,500 XP for failing. Week 11, we beat the Saints 35-20. Nice divisional victory with a Player of the Week performance. Another 4 touchdowns for Bryce Young. Got a feeling, man, he might go for more than 25 this year. Maybe all he needed was almost $400 million worth of contract to start playing better. And we are rolling 9-2, and we just beat the Green Bay Packers, who we played last year in the NFC Championship game, in a shootout. And we can't lose. 11-2, we beat the Niners, who are another big dog in the NFC. We get a Player of the Week, 3 touchdowns from Bryce Young this time. And while we did slip up against the Vikings in the Week 18 finale against the Chiefs Super Bowl rematch, we get the win. So we beat the teams that we met in the championship and Super Bowl last year. So if that's not going to give us momentum, I don't know what will. But looking at our rankings, #1 offense, #1 rushing defense. Where did this come from? We're running the exact same playbook. We have the exact same OC, DC that we've had this whole time. We finished season 13-4, the 1 seed in the NFC. That is how you respond after a devastating Super Bowl loss. Look at the stats here, and what I say in these early rebuilds, I can't have that held against me, say when we're at like rebuild 10, 2 months down the line. But after 2 back-to-back 25 touchdown seasons for Bryce Young, while we had insane development, enough XP growth that I was questioning, is this too much? I was worried that we're falling into the old Madden 24, 23, 22, 21 trap of your playbooks are pretty much your ceiling for stats. So 25 touchdowns for Bryce Young. He might get 27, he might get 30, but that's kind of the bubble that they're in. The fact that we made that jump from 25, 2 straight seasons, down to 33, if we could just get fluid sim numbers based off of rating instead of everything being tied down to the playbooks, that is and has been my #1 complaint, want, desire to see in Madden franchise mode. If that's what we're getting right here, we are still Dave Canales offense that has been underwhelming. But now that our team is growing together, we can break through that ceiling and we can play to our rating and not just Panthers playbook This it could be a good sign. Again, it's very early. It's only rebuild 2, but cautiously optimistic that is what we're seeing here. And if it is, there's going to be a tear in my eye. Jonathan Brooks continues to be a machine. 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns. Got a little bit of a D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart deal going on here, which I love. Jerry Rhodes, all he does is score touchdowns. 3 carries, 2 touchdowns. I don't know what happened on that one rogue carry, but I'm happy that everything's working there. We have 2,000-yard receivers, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns for Legit, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns for Deontay Johnson, 700 yards from Mingo, 6 and 4 from Sanders. Maybe it's a little bit lower on Sanders' case for a superstar tight end, but I'm not going to complain too much. Trevin Wallace continues to lead the pack for tackles. Hurts, along with him, the rookie, had a nice campaign, 9 TFLs. We got 8 sacks from Derek Brown on 14 TFLs, 6.5 from Clowney, 6 from Whitworth, only 2 from Heath. Dev trade is star, so again, I'm glad we didn't overpay to make that trade up, and we still have a pass rusher here that has a decently high ceiling. Interception numbers, though, a little bit lower than I'd like to see. Dave Canales wins his 2nd Coach of the Year award in this rebuild. Not bad, 2 in 3 years. Dang, thought we'd have a chance at Defensive Rookie of the Year, but just top 5. And some say Jonathan Brooks got robbed of Running Back of the Year, going to Saquon Barkley. In the first round of the playoffs, we get a very potent offense here in the Minnesota Vikings. 3rd in far as passing yards is concerned, but I think we can outscore them in a shootout. Wasn't quite the shootout, but it's a victory nonetheless, and the Panthers are back in the NFC Championship game. 2 touchdowns. J.J. McCarthy had the lone turnover, which could very well be the deciding factor. Jonathan Brooks went off legit, and Jatavian Sanders with the receiving touchdowns. Eisen with the interception. Couple sacks there as well. Happy with the performance. Up next, we got a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. 12-5. Green Bay Packers. They have a top 5 offense, top 3 rushing offense, top 10 defense. This should be a good one. Clearly the 2 best teams in the NFC this season. We're back in the Super Bowl. 30-27. Jordan Love went off. Bryce Young, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, played it clean. That's what I like to see. Johnson and Mingo, touchdowns defensively. Whitworth, 2 sacks and a TFL. A sack from Silas Heath, the rookie. Derek Brown getting after it. The Horn Dog with a game-sealing pick. We own Green Bay. And it's back-to-back Super Bowls. This time we take on the 6th seed from the AFC, the Vegas Raiders. You look at their rankings, they have a good rushing defense, but everything else are middle of the mall. They are on a true Cinderella. I mean, they're not a bad team. The ratings are pretty similar, but looking at their performance, I would make the argument they are definitely on a Cinderella run. Much like we were last season, let's humble them. Let's get our first Super Bowl so we make sure that this is a successful rebuild with 2 years left to try to turn it into a dynasty. Actually, kind of interested here on the walkout. So I'm going to find out who their quarterback is. Is it still Minshew Mania? I imagine they've drafted. Okay, so they went out and they drafted someone. Still got Devontae Adams. Still got Max Crosby. But we have the callus of last year's loss. I think will be the deciding factor in what could be an ugly game. Low-scoring game. But we're going to take what we learned against the Chiefs. And wow, it is ugly. The Raiders go for it on 4th down to get a touchdown, so they were desperate. And that woke us up. You woke up a sleeping beast. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. 1 point. Put this game away. Come on. Let's go. 21-21. Minute 34. We're not going to blow this again, are we? I got to come in. Last time I came in, we can't. This is depressing. Mountain seam. Clock's not running. We have no timeouts. Get it. Minimum first down. All right, drive continues. Wow, 3 picks, Bryce Young. the kick. We're going to overtime. Yes! Now, if we go in Super Bowl from here on in, I'm going to hop in and get some gameplay. I just needed the sim to sim itself. We were not getting screwed over again with a blown fourth quarter loss. The Gatorade was orange for everyone taking the prop bet out there. Oh, what a win. Epic overtime. Bryce Young, again, we got that Alabama winning mentality. Who's that? Is that Randy Moss? Where's Steve Smith at? That's who I want. There we go. Super Bowl champions Dave Canales, two-time coach of the year, has done a wonder job here with the Carolina Panthers, able to rewire Bryce Young's brain to get him to play like a $300 million quarterback. And the Raiders might be back, man. That's a young quarterback they got there. But Bryce Young went nuclear. I had, one completion of that 360-yard, 4-touchdown performance. And I have every assumption, based on how the last 2 years gone, that year 4 and 5 of this rebuild is going to be more the same. We're going to have more opportunities to add some more hardware. Now, he did also throw 3 interceptions, which, not good. Our run game was non-existent, but Deontay Johnson probably should be Super Bowl MVP. 12 catches, 123 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tavian Sanders got one. Mingo went over 100 yards. 5 TFLs and a sack from our first-round rookie pick, Silas Heath. 2 sacks to Eric Brown. Couple singles across the board. Only 1 interception, but what an effort, man. And they did give Super Bowl MVP to Deontay Johnson. As far as dev traits are concerned, though, we did go backwards in a lot of cases. Nothing for Bryce Young. Corbett and Lewis, both were star devs, have regressed back down to normal. Now, it is worth noting with the boost, Jonathan Brooks is in the 99 club. Defensively, Hurts was hidden dev, star. Heath was hidden dev, star. No one else went up or down. Hey, thought we might get a little bit more love, seeing as how we're Super Bowl champions. I'm going to pick up the 5th-year option on Legit just because that contract number seems like it would probably be roughly in line with what his next extension is going to be. Need a center and an edge rusher as we enter the offseason, be it free agency or the draft. At center, not really getting the role that I want. At edge rusher, 12 mil per year for Van Ness, 2681. Don't hate it. We have Hutchinson. Ooh. Can I afford that? Jabo's there. Ooh, is that Ojulari? That's our dude, but no dev trait. He's not the same man that he was in our Cardinals franchise last year. What would that look like? We did just win the Super Bowl. We're not even close. All right, we don't even tempt fate with that one. Try Van Ness. Just because there's no way we're gonna find another nice pass rusher. All right, we'll go Van Ness, and if he takes the bait, let's go. I would say if not, we can pivot to Ojulari. We got a nice little partner in crime, and he will be our successor for Jadeveon Clowney at that same spot. Look at the center market for our focus scouting. There are a couple first-round centers, but I think Abrams down here in the 3rd, 4th round. 2 A's, 2 B's. That will probably be our target. So we're going to grab our center probably in the 2nd round. What do we do with our first-round pick? Right tackle, I mean, Taylor Moton could be succeeded. But I did scout 2 players that look really interesting. We have Derek McCoy at free safety. We signed Melifonwu at free safety, but he's pretty much at his ceiling at like an 80 overall, and he's probably going to start regressing the last 2 seasons. So McCoy is a first-round talent, has A-man coverage, is the reason why I focus scout him. The combine's not the best, only scoring decent in acceleration. Does have the best vertical jump, top 5, top 3, 40-yard dash, and 20-yard shuttle. I wouldn't hate making that pick, but we'd have to trade up. There was a wide receiver, though, that really... You know, we let Mingo walk. Like, our wide receiver room has got depleted a little bit. Deontay Johnson is regressing. He's at his ceiling. We obviously have Legit as the wide receiver 1, but George Pierce, A, deep route running, B, release, 6'1", elite speed, elite acceleration. I kind of want him. Now, that's an expensive trade up. Got to call Dallas, but at least maybe see what they want. Dallas is playing hardball. They want Horn Dog, they want Legit, or they want 2 first-round picks for me, like that, to move up 12 spots. I think we can not finesse them and make this happen. So I literally got a trade value chart, and as you can see, pick 20 is worth 850. I'm just gonna, for the simplicity's sake, round up. We have a 600, and if we throw in our second round pick, that will give us 860. So 860 for 850. A first and a second should get this done, or at least be fair value. Oh, you bastards! We overpaid, but we sent them our first round pick this year, our third round pick this year. I didn't want to give them our second this year because that's where I want to go grab that center. So I gave them a second next year, and I gave them a 78 corner with 2 years left on a rookie deal to move up 12 spots. This wide receiver better be good. But he looks real good. You can always throw the catching out the window on players like this. Doesn't matter. Catching's probably going to be still 77, 78. Number 9 in true value. And look at it. Look at it across the board. All A's. Let's go. 94 speed, 92 acceleration. 94 acceleration, sorry, yeah, 97 speed. What's the catching? I don't think the exact ring, but look at all of those A's. That'll do. In the second round, we're going to get what looks to be the best center. Now, kind of surprised that he's only a second, third round talent. Probably means he's going to be lower 70s. But elite acceleration, jumping, strength is first bench press at the position. All we're really looking for is a dev trait. You can get the best value, 62nd in true value at 64, but he does have that dev trait, and he will be a day 1 starter. We're really happy with our draft. We get 76 hidden dev, aggressive trade up. Even if we had to overpay a little bit, we get 72 hidden dev at the big position of need, and we finish out with some nice value across the board on both offense and defense. I am curious, just because he had D-catching, what is the catch? And it's 77, so 77, 78 was kind of in the right ballpark here. Very much a one-trick pony right now, but we'll take a deep threat. We got other guys. Johnson's our route runner. Legit's kind of the all-arounder at this point, and Pierce can be our speedster. Yeah, this just doesn't get old. You know, some people say, C4, how do I stop my franchise mode from maybe becoming repetitive? Have you ever thought about drafting a 385-pound nose tackle that has ridiculous acceleration and making him a fullback? Because I'm loving it. And you're goddamn right, at a training camp, Jerry Rhodes gets 3 overall upgrades. I don't know we're doing like a 10-year rebuild instead, which we will be doing 10-year rebuilds, but that will be once we get some realistic draft classes going on, what his ceiling would be. 52 right now, and he's only I mean, you could probably make him up to like a high 70s before, he's 28, 29 and starts hitting that ceiling. What do we got here, though? 84 acceleration, 92 strength, 68 speed, 59 I mean, that works. That's a weapon. If you're defending Super Bowl champions, this is how the Carolina Panthers look like going into year 4 of this 5-year rebuild. 86 overall. I mean, I will say, it does feel like the XP's chilled out a little bit. I think some of that is due to some of these milestones aren't getting hit as much as we had, say, in year 2, where we're getting those big 10K XP boosts. Bryce Young's a 90 overall before the boost. 95 for Jonathan Brooks. He's in a contract year. Because it's only a 5-year rebuild versus like a 10. At a 10, you don't really want to pay running backs. I definitely want to try to pay him. We also, we got Legit playing on a 5th-year option. We're going to have the rookie Pierce and the rookie Abrams starting on what is a very good offense. No real weakness, very complete. Obviously, fullback as well. We have a machine back there. Defensively, front 3, happy with it. Homegrown. Linebacking core, we got Van Ness, who we landed in free agency. Hopefully, it's not that bad of a transition from going, hand in the dirt now to an edge rusher. But we're not going to ask him to do too much. I like that linebacking core. See what I'm saying? The ceiling is kind of reached right now for our free safety. I think our safety room could maybe use a slight refresher. But the corner room is solid. McCreary, J.C. Horn, Eisen, all are playing very good football right now. And this is just a complete football team. That's how you start your Super Bowl defense. You go 1-0 against a very tough Houston Texan team. And you have Jonathan Brooks go for 151 yards and 3 touchdowns. We got a nice bounce back win after a 3-game losing streak, 35-7 over the Saints. We're 5-3, which is a good spot to be. It's not like we've completely taken over the league and become the Chiefs 2.0. We're clanging and banging here a little bit. But I like the fact that offensively, top 5, Jonathan Brooks going nuclear. Now he's in a contract year. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But I think he's worth the price of admission. With $66 million, we got Jonathan Brooks. Something like that should get it done. 4 years, 58. I want Trevin Wallace. He is the star of our defense. He is our closest thing to Luke Kuechly. Get Deontay Johnson just for a 1 year. I mean, for our Super Bowl star, I think he's earned that. This is a big one. I love the homegrownness of Jatavion Sanders. We do probably have enough to make this work. Let's see, 5-year, 86.5. All right, budget might be a little tight next year, but we already have that Super Bowl, so it's not like we have to, save our salary cap for like a Super Bowl or bust scenario. We have to go insane in free agency. I think it's worth keeping our homegrown talent here, especially one like Sanders, who started as, I think, a 67 normal. Now, in year 4, a 90 superstar. But we just don't have the funds to pay Damian Lewis or Taylor Moton. So that is where we're going to look in the draft. We're going to go heavy on the O-line. It has been a minute, but we did just get, at the end of year 4, one of those explosions of player XP. We got 5 skill points out of nowhere for Travis Abrams, our center, and he gets it for hitting the milestone goal, 2,000 rush yards as a team, gets himself 9,000 XP. We did not achieve first seed status. 12-5 is a great record. The Giants at 14-3 get it. Dallas would have been ahead of us. I mean, they wouldn't have, but they would have. 14 wins for the Cowboys. Minnesota 12-5 as well. So a very competitive NFC this season. But for Bryce Young, 34. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the progression that maybe it's not all about playbooks this year. I want to be cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to scream it from the rooftops that they fixed it and it's different, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I think it's the right wording. 34 touchdowns, 5 picks for Young. Yards aren't crazy, but when you have this type of rushing offense and you have a fullback that all he does is score touchdowns per carry, you could have your rushing numbers be that good and your passing numbers maybe a little bit on the lower side. I mean, it would be, in a perfect world, we would have got maybe 3 more yards on the Jet, but 977 and 12 is a solid year. 9-8 for Johnson, who is kind of starting to regress at this point. Not bad. Definitely want to get more out of Sanders in the touchdowns, especially after giving him that big contract. The rookie, George Pierce, traded up for him, 700 yards, 8 touchdown catches. What is the hidden dev? Just a star. A lot of star devs in this rebuild. Defensively, Trevin Wallace, worth every penny of the contract extension. Our sacks have definitely been not a strength. Not my favorite part of this rebuild. 8.5 sacks from Whitworth, 6.5 Derek Brown, 5 from Silas Heath, only 3.5 from Van Ness, our big free agency signing. Interception numbers as well have been inconsistent, to say the least. George Pierce does win Offensive Rookie of the Year, so that can play well into giving him a dev trait. Jonathan Brooks wins Running Back of the Year on top of a shiny new contract. That could be enough to take him from superstar up to an X Factor. A team that's been our rival, if you will, in this rebuild in the playoffs, the Green Bay Packers, are who we meet as we try to defend our Super Bowl crown in the wildcard round. They're 10-7, top 10 offense. They can run the football well. Josh Jacobs is a beast. This is a battle of 2 very similar built rosters. Let's do it live. This is a tough one. It's not a great first round opponent. Damn, losing as the 2 seed. That's very uncharacteristic of the Panthers, of our team. That sucks. Bryce Young had a humble game. He couldn't really take over running the football. We need more fullback. That's what we need. That's what we're missing. Second half from Derek Brown. I'd love to see that. We got some pressure after the quarterback, but not good enough, man. Not good enough, too, when you're trying to defend your Super Bowl. You go and put up 18 points. At season's end, Taylor Moton, who was out of contract anyway, does retire as a Carolina Panther. At least it wasn't those damn Green Bay Packers taking our crown. I can live with it being the cheat code Chiefs. Now, as we close out year 4, we are going to need a Taylor Moton replacement at right tackle. I did focus scout tackles for this upcoming draft class. Sanders keeps his dev trait somehow, someway. We lose the star dev on Deontay Johnson, but we gain the superstar on first-round pick George Pierce with that Offensive Rookie of the Year award. And because Jonathan Brooks has been going off. He finally gets rewarded for his dominance and how good and how consistent he has been in this rebuild. Running back of the year, rushing yards leader, and now a superstar X Factor. And defensively, the only movement dev trait-wise is Izine loses his star dev. So going into this offseason and draft, we need a Taylor Moton replacement. We need a left guard replacement for Damian Lewis. And I want to bring in a safety to upgrade at free safety over Melo Fong. We're able to get the tackle and guard. We got Charles Cross, former first-round pick of the Seahawks. Kenyon Green, former first-round pick of the Texans. Both on reasonable contracts, both in the 80s with dev traits. So what I'm excited for here at pick 23, we are going to have our pick of the... Let me just look here. Mayweather at free safety went 21. He wasn't even on my board. So we're essentially going to have the pick of the litter at 23 for the safety. That's going to be a day one starter for us and hopefully turn it around. Now, I did fully scout a couple of the safeties that had good coverage. We had B-man coverage. That's usually what I look for. B-man on Atkins, not the value that you would look for, but we did get a good report back on Kenya Montague, who has B-zone coverage, 6'1", 200 pounds. Combine pretty good. Elite agility, first in the 3-cone, first in the 20-inch shredder. We are looking for more a free safety than strong, but it's definitely not bad to get that report. Oh, this one's a bummer, though. Brandon Baxter had a man, and I always like things that kind of stand out. I mean, he could still be a very good player, but that's not the role you want to see. Top free safeties, Enrique Harvey. He's a run support, a tackle, a hit power. Combine's not... I do think we just got to trust our scouting on this one. I mean, make sure Dwayne Hooker, like the first projected one, is not some sort of freak. Like, we're not getting the great athletic testing numbers. That makes blind picking super easy. Jason Caldwell does have the B-zone coverage. Little bit better athletically. Because we have to make sure this hits. This is going to be a start. So I think we just trust our scouting. Kenya Montague, number 19 in true value, getting him at pick 23. There we go with the hidden dev. And look at the draft recap. Third round, nice value pick in Shelton, 72 with a hidden dev. But the bell of the ball is our day one starter at safety. We're going to move him to free. I don't think that'll adjust his rating. 76 hidden dev Montague. So that's only a point overall lower than what we had last year in Melifonte, who was at his ceiling. So a full season of growth and development. Montague's going to be peaking right for our fifth and final playoff run. Go! One last ride. Run him over. It is pretty cool out of training camp to officially welcome Jonathan Brooks as our first member of our Madden 25 Rebuild 99 Club. Here's how the squad looks going into year 5, and I think we have done a great job rebuilding what is probably the worst roster, at least in the discussion, bottom 3 roster in all of Madden 25. We kept with the development of Bryce Young. I remember when I announced on Twitter, X, whatever, that I was doing the Panthers, most of the replies regarding it was, please keep Bryce Young. Please develop Bryce Young. And that is what we were able to do. Keeping Brooks 99, legit developed nicely, drafted and aggressive in getting a superstar wide receiver. Deontay Johnson, he's been here. You know, he's regressed a little bit, but never forget, if it wasn't for him, we likely wouldn't have a Super Bowl win. Offensive line, we're able to maintain versus, you know, the homegrown talent, drafting well. And then in our last free agency period, getting to very much plug-and-play starters. Jatavian Sanders' development was incredible. Defensively, it's been, you know, I definitely think I would like a little more hits in the dev trait department with some of our draft picks. Whitworth was a first-rounder that was normal. Wilson, hidden dev, never got beyond that star. Heath and Hurts, hidden devs, never got beyond that star. But, I mean, Trevin Wallace was incredible. Closest thing we've had to Luke Kuechly in a minute. So I think more than enough talent here in year 5 to go get that Super Bowl win. I think we did it the right way. Before we even worry about record, did we even make the playoffs year 5? Jerry Rhodes and counting, but likely we have got him from 35 overall up to a 62. What a journey for the greatest fullback weapon Madden 25's ever seen. What do we got here? Look at that. 63 carrying, can lead block, 66 catching. Oof. Oh, no, we're kidding. We were outstanding. 15-2, 1 seed in the NFC. We have the number 1 offense, number 1 defense. Yep. And the touchdowns for Bryce Young, up. 36 touchdowns, only 3 picks. Yards are still not crazy, but I imagine it's you know, in combination with the fact that we are just running the football so well, and Rhodes continues to just straight be nothing but touchdowns. On the receiving standpoint, Legit goes over 1,000 yards with 10 touchdowns, 8 and 8 from Sanders. Finally, that's the kind of year we've been looking for out of him. Pierce with 800 yards, 13 touchdowns for the superstar reigning, defending offensive rookie of the year. And 7 and 3 from the role player now at this point in his career in Deontay Johnson. Over 100 tackles for Trevin Wallace, 5 TFLs, 3.5 sacks, 11 sacks from Derek Brown, 9.5 from Heath, 7.5 Van Ness, 7 from Whitworth. So we're finally getting the pass rush numbers we love, even though those interception numbers are kind of depressing. And that was the closest we've got to a Bryce Young MVP, finishing in the top 5. Dave Canales gets Coach of the Year for the 3rd time in 5 years. What a signing. The closest thing we got for any award winners was Bryce Young being runner-up for Quarterback of the Year in the NFC. We weren't top 5 in any other position, which is harsh. But I do always like to recap what we've accomplished within a rebuild on a career stat point. Bryce Young, 21,000 yards passing, 164 touchdowns to 47 interceptions. So not prolific by any means, but you throw in the fact that he got a Super Bowl win in there. You know, keeps going. Probably will finish as the best quarterback in the history of the Carolina Panthers, surpassing Cam Newton, because he actually won the big one. Jonathan Brooks in 5 seasons, 6,700 yards and 67 touchdowns. He's been incredible. Jameel Adams has done the Jonathan Stewart role very nicely. Bryce Young's got us some dual threat. And of course, 9 career carries, 6 career touchdowns for Jerry freaking Rose. On a receiving standpoint, Deontay Johnson, these numbers are obviously split between his time here and with the Steelers. Cardo, nice career, 5,000 yards, 52 touchdowns for Legit, so averaging 1,010 a year is pretty awesome. Sanders had nice numbers, same with Pierce. And on defense, Fuller, split time between us and the Rams, so Wallace averaged over 100 tackles per season since we got him out of Kentucky, 28 TFLs, 9.5 sacks, 8 interceptions. Really, really happy with those numbers. 103 TFLs, 55 sacks from Derek Brown was the big dog. Whitworth, 39 TFLs, 29 sacks for our first round pick. Not really crazy numbers. Horn Dog with 15 picks, 12 from Fuller. This was a rebuild that was definitely carried by the offense from a stat standpoint. After kicking our feet up with our first round bye, we hit the Minnesota Vikings in the divisional round. 91 overall with a 95 offense. Good God, changing my card, this up to a 98 overall. You got 99 Justin Jefferson, 95 Jordan Addison. Yikes. And we end up winning a very close matchup, 28-25. Bryce Young, protect the football. McCarthy with the turnover. Sometimes those are the thin margins. I can decide whether or not you win again. We had 2 rushing touchdowns, but Brooks kind of quiet. Pierce and Legit stood up when we needed to. 15 tackles from Trevin Wallace all over the place. 2 sacks from Heath. Second half, Derek Brown and Eising has just got clutch interceptions time and time again. What a trade that was to steal him away from the Bucs. And who else would we play with a Super Bowl on the line here in year 5 than those goddamn Green Bay Packers? They go 12-5, really good offense, pretty good defense, but we're the best. And we get past the Packers, which we've been able to do consistently in the playoffs, and look at the battle of the 1 seeds in the Super Bowl, of course. And we're going to hop in to play that one. But we win in the championship game, 31-20. Not going to say it was comfortable, but Bryce Young is on fire right now. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He knows he's going to have to play perfect football to upset the great Patrick Mahomes. Legit with a touchdown. Johnson continues to be a very clutch playoff performer. Silas Heath has been a sack machine, former first-round pick. No turnovers, but we're ready for KC. Oh, no worries. They're just 93 overall, the 95 offense, and they went 16-1. I mean, the defense isn't as good as ours, even though Mahomes went for 49 touchdowns. Just trying to get an idea of what their roster looks like. What? 99, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99. 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 99. It's a lot. That is a very good team. And we meet again. And you know we're hopping in and playing this one. See how good these Chiefs really are. And hopefully I don't throw 4 picks and cost my team. Because my team is good enough to go 2-0 against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Woo! go. New kickoff. Working to our favor. We got a 99 X Factor. We should be able to run this thing down their throats. We'll be looking at Jatavian Sanders potentially. We go back to legit right in the middle of the field, matched up against the linebacker. Great read, great vision by Bryce Young. Opening drive touchdown for the Panthers. Oh no, not the missed tackles. Worthy guy's pretty fast. Don't want to be the first team to blink. Don't want to be the first team to settle for a field goal. I think Brooks on the Texas could be where we want to look on this. Send Pierce in motion. That could also work. It's just so fast. They got Worthy speed. We might not have Worthy speed, but we got Pierce speed, which is close enough. Oh, beautiful. Couldn't have been executed any better. Jonathan Brooks in the end zone on the screen. Panthers regain the lead. Can the defense help us out to get into halftime with this lead? I mean, we do have a freak linebacker in Wallace trying to gum up the middle of the field, but don't matter. They just finds the open guy every time. Joke. Oh! On the blown screen. Jatavian Sanders. Oh, drops it. Throwing the far hash for this play, but Jatavian, take the points. Like, this is literally a boss fight. Like, the final end game boss. Every time I call something I like, he audibles to something else. But look at that tackle. Out in space. That a punt. Opening drive of the second half. Kansas City got it, and we get off the field. 3rd and 7. Do not want to give the ball right back. Well, high percentage routes here. Too long. Punt. It's instant. It's snap, throw, snap, throw. Is the power when he does this thing? Or he does this? Is this magic power? Oh, great. What did he go? Here's a he's going, oh, touchdown. Let's go to the touchdown play. God. That's what he did. And it's another drop. That is the second drop by Jatavian Sanders, my superstar dev, highly rated tight end. Yeah, we got to go for it because they're just going to score and the game will be over. At least this way here, we have a chance with our offense. I'm going to take Sanders and give him the ultimate makeup chance by calling a little slant cheese. Should have punted it. All right, I'm at this point. Can the CPU get me a stop? Oh, of course they get a sack right there, and then they get another sack. So it's clearly a me issue. Okay, cool. Come on, O-line. What are we doing here? Give me 3 seconds is all I need. 3. 2 Mississippis even. Fourth and 6. I mean, obviously, got to go. All right, down 7, the 2-minute warning. 4th and 6. I mean, we got to go for it. Defense gave us a chance. Can we capitalize on it? Oh, my God. Can we get one more chance? Well, I mean, it's over, but... Oh, look, and then I come out of the game. It's like, oh, my team gets a turnover and we get a touchdown. And I suck at this game, I guess. But, I mean, that's what happens. You go up against the final boss, the team that has more 99s than I've ever seen any CPU team have. It's going to be, you have to play perfect football. We did not play perfect football. My offensive line failed in run blocking and pass blocking. We got dominated in the line of scrimmage. I was a complete liability. We went on defense, apparently, because Sim 2 defensive drives. They gave up 3 points and got a bunch of sacks. But we got our Super Bowl. Not only did we get our Super Bowl, we built a hell of a Carolina Panthers team in this 5-year period. So I think mission accomplished. Big old check mark on the rebuild. So I hope you guys did enjoy. As always, let me know in the comment section below which team we should rebuild next. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Getting very close to 175,000 subscribers. Would be awesome if we could hit that sooner than later. Smash the like button. If you enjoy the series, you always like to try to get 1,000 likes. The YouTube robots seem to like that and actually recommending my videos to people that don't know for some reason about my channel, even though we've been here for 10 years now. But thank you guys for clicking on the video, supporting the channel, and until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out, love ya, have a good one.